those remarks, we will take questions from the media in attendance, and after that, any questions from the public in attendance as well. Our first speaker is Paradise Mayor Steve Crowder.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today, both in person and virtual. I'd like to welcome Congressman LaMalfa, Soledadano from Senator Nielsen's office, Assemblyman James Gallagher, Butte County Supervisor Doug Teeter, Cal OES Deputy Director Ryan Burris, Cal Recycle Chief Deputy Director Ken DeRosa, and the Town of Paradise staff. I would like to extend a special thank you to our former town manager Lauren Gill for her persistence and tenacity that private roads be included with this project. Without her pushing, I don't believe private roads would have been included. So thank you, Lauren. We want to thank all of the town residents who are back home or coming back home for their support, patience during our recovery efforts. We know this road hasn't been easy, but this is who we are. This tree removal program is an integral part of our recovery and is well on its way to wind down. It is vital that we receive 100% participation in this program to keep us all fire safe. If you have not yet removed your trees or signed up for the government program, I urge you to contact the town and do so. The next step in our process for properties not enrolled or cleaned is abatement, which is time-consuming and costly and something the town does not want to be forced to do. We are already looking forward to our next phase of recovery when we can reseed and reconstruct the town. Our reconstruction is happening at a pace no one anticipated. Over 700 new homes completed and 121 multifamily homes as well. We're very grateful for the partnerships of our elected officials who have been here before and after the fire. Cal OES and Cal Recycle, we could not have done this without each and every one of you. We ask every property owner to join us in being a partner and helping us get these dead trees removed. Please visit our tree advocates if you are not enrolled. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Crowder. Our next speaker is Butte County Supervisor Doug Tierney.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Mayor, for recognizing those that are clearly in the forefront of this massive task that the county and town has faced. But I also want to add a thanks to folks that have been manning the phones or town and county staff that have been really working hard. Also, there's a whole slew of retirees. I know one is here right now in this room, and I want those retirees that put their retirement on hold to come help their community a huge thanks. So that's you, George. So anyway, the board did a tough decision of making it mandatory, and that was kind of some citizens had a conflict of mandatory tree removal on private and county or town-owned roads as well. The town obviously was in control of their roads. But it was imperative, I felt, as a leader in our community, that we really needed to make our roads and our community safe, and this is one step. And it's not going to remove all the trees. There's still going to be trees that didn't qualify in any of the programs or in the regulations that the town or the county created. And so hopefully the citizens will take it upon themselves once we get to that step. As many of us have lost property here, including myself, it was kind of frustrating to go through the process of deciding which program best fit your needs, either economically or because of your ability to take care of your property. The ROE process was frustrating, the way it was worded, but a lot of us got through that. And then there was the facts that someone was going to be first, someone was going to be last, and that there's always that I need my dangerous trees that affect me and my parcel or my house that stands. And I want to thank those that have been deciding who's gets first, because that's really a thankless job. And so hats off to making that decision. I support you in the way you've done it, and we're going to get them all. So bear with us, be patient for those that still haven't got it done. The county, I think, is fortunate that 50 parcels are going possibly into the abatement process, and there's whole requirements associated with physically going after someone who didn't want to choose. And the first step is notification, and I want to let everyone know that those that haven't entered the program, any program, haven't taken care of their property, they have been notified. And hopefully they decide to take care of their parcel. My understanding is Cal OES, Cal Recycle are still accepting parcels into their program. So the quicker they act, the faster they can get into the program before the cutoff. So I urge you, and I'm getting old, so I gotta put on my glasses, because I won't remember this. If you live in the county or have a neighbor, friend, or family member with a property in abatement, please call 530-552-3030. The levying of the abatement will be up to the Board of Supervisors, and I do want to let people know that if it's a compelling reason, I, speaking for myself, would probably grant a waiver to those levies, but it better be really compelling, because it's been 2.5 years, or almost 2.5 years, and we really got to get this done. So please, thanks to everyone here today, and thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to come speaking at the town.
Thank you, Supervisor Teeter. Our next speaker is Cal OES Deputy Director Ryan Burris.
Good afternoon. First, I would like to express my deep appreciation for the residents of the town and the county, truly resilient people. I also want to thank Congressman LaMalfa, Senator Nielsen, Assemblymember Gallagher, Mayor Crowder, Supervisor Teeter for their continued support as we recover from the devastating impacts from the Camp Fire. I understand firsthand the difficulties of hurdles and challenges, and any delays can impact your recovery process. That is why we're committed on focusing on clearing properties as quickly and safely as possible. We are continuing to partner with the town and county leaders to support recovery here, and more importantly, provide the community with the reassurance that we're doing everything we can during this pandemic to clear properties and hazardous trees so that physical rebuilding can not only begin, but also continue forward. We are committed to seeing this program through. As we near 50% completion of the historic government hazard tree removal program, this milestone is worth celebrating as we continue onward in the recovery process. Although we still have a long way to go, I believe that acknowledging the process that we have made together as a team thus far shows the strength of this amazing community, the amazing leaders that are standing behind me, our federal and state partners, and our local leaders as well. Before I go, I would also like to thank our partners at FEMA. They have been a true support, not only to Cal OES, Cal Recycle, but everyone here today. They also started a direct housing program post the Camp Fire. Households, up to 680 households were housed in the FEMA direct housing program. To date, we still have over 100 households. That program was set to expire on May 12th. FEMA has approved the sales and donations program for the direct housing program, and more importantly, extended that deadline from May 12th to September 12th. This allows all of us in this room to continue to work with those families that have suffered so much, that are currently housed in the direct housing program, to move on to more permanent solutions. So once again, I would like to thank our FEMA partners there. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Director Burris. Our next speaker is Cal Recycle Chief Deputy Director Ken DeRosa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. I'll start off by always speaking of this program in terms of its 3 core operating principles. It's documentation, communication, and safety. And this event today is an opportunity to present those principles and be reminded of them. We're here to convey some important metrics and to emphasize the careful delivery of this program that emphasizes safe operations and safe outcomes. We like to talk about the numbers, and the numbers are important to help contextualize the sheer magnitude and effort exhibited. And I will get to those in a few minutes. But before I do, I think it's important to understand our commitment that you've heard from my colleague, Deputy Director Burris, that it's important to understand this commitment about our focus on getting this work done and done correctly. Please know that all involved, whether it's state staff, local government, our elected representatives, or our private sector colleagues such as SOPB and Arcadis and Tetra Tech, we recognize what it means to this community and what it means to the individual residents to get this operation done. The 15th century writer John Haywood noted that many hands make light work, and in that spirit, I'd like to also acknowledge our partners, the Town of Paradise and Butte County, residents therein, FEMA, our state partners, including Cal OES, your congressional representative, Doug LaMalfa, your state legislative member, Senator Nielsen, Assemblymember Gallagher, the professional arborists, foresters, and timber operators that have worked diligently in this next step of rebuilding. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge my colleagues, Steve Ito, Victor Lopez, Jared Ramsey-Lewis, and Chris McSwain from Cal Recycle and all of their efforts. Some of these partners are the ones on your property. Not only the contractors, but the experts that ensure that the public, environment, heritage, and workforce are protected. You'll see their hard hats, their vests, green placards in their vehicles reading HTRP. Thanks to this multi-agency partnership, we're working at an unprecedented pace, 6 days a week, weather permitting. So let's talk a little bit about our progress. Arborists have assessed about 97% of the parcels enrolled. We've so far identified nearly 90,000 trees to be felled. Thus far, we've felled just over 39,000 trees, and we're felling nearly 500 trees a day. We're approaching 50%, as you've heard, and we've done our best to prioritize within the schedule those parcels that include trees near homes or rebuilds. 312 properties have been made safe of hazard trees in the last week alone, with 265 of those being in Paradise. To date, approximately 1,200 parcels have received a final sign-off, and to me, this is the most important metric, the final step, the signaling to the property owner that our work is done and now one can take the next steps in rebuilding. We're delivering this wood to reuse facilities, Apex Lumber in Oroville, Durham for chip and grind, Loyalton for biomass in Sierra County, and if the weather continues to cooperate, hazard tree removal will be completed by early summer. So I'm going to wrap up and turn it to Congressman LaMalfa in just a moment, but most importantly, we want to thank the community, as Ryan just did, the people of Paradise, Butte, Creek Canyon, Concow, and Gallia. We want to thank you for your patience, for your cooperation, for your support. This is not an easy operation. There are challenges. But as you did with the fire debris removal program, you've stood by us, you believed in us, and you've trusted us. And we want to take today to thank you for that trust.
Thank you, Chief Deputy Director DeRosa. Our next speaker is Congressman Doug LaMalfa.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Colette. Good to be here with you all, Ryan, Kim, Doug, Steve, James, and Saul from Senator Nielsen's office. It's a great partnership so far of what we've been able to accomplish on the heels of 2 years and 4 months ago. And as I drove up Neal Road today, I was just really, really pleased to see just in that stretch the homes that they've been completed or really close to completion. People out there working them and coming back. There's less debris, and so the ratio keeps going in the right direction on that. I also want to thank my staff that's here today as well. Brett Sanders, not that new to our office anymore, but brand new right back with us. Also is Laura Page, who you all stole from us here a while back, but and then through the county. But we're certainly happy that she could be of such help in getting things going for the town and then later for the county and directly with the tree program. So also Laura knows where all the skeletons are buried, so you can't fool us on anything anymore. Anyway, so great to have her back. So I'm really glad, Ken, to hear the timeline here on having these trees removed early summer or midsummer, whatever it's going to be. We won't have it won't stretch into another rainy season. I was a little frustrated at the beginning there how some of the things worked with bidding and contracting, but that's all been worked through. We've got people on the ground making it happen, right close to that 50% mark. That's great progress. Appreciate you guys and the work we've been able to all do together. Also, FEMA has been a really good partner. They really haven't turned us down on anything we've tried to accomplish these last 2+ years. And whether it's been kicking up to the 90% reimbursement, some of the work we've all gotten done on the census for the population up here, and what the eligibility of that has been made through different agencies, and working with the governor's office. So it's really multifaceted, the cooperation we've had here. And so the job obviously is not over yet, but we have to feel good about the progress that's being made, and I think everything that can be humanly done is being done, has been done, will continue to be so. So we still have big things we want to do in the future with infrastructure. I said as a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee in DC, and I don't know, we're doing Zoom meetings right now, which it's not very efficient and not the way to go, but hopefully we'll get the ability back to really have these more strong discussions about what we need to do. And Paradise is right at the top of the list on things we need to get done, whether it's the sewer system that needs to happen, whether it's the cooperation with Chico or on your own, the possibility of that PID water pipeline. I think that needs to be looked at really hard for what we're going to face with the groundwater challenges under what's called the Sigma issue here we have in the state, and what that means for Chico, and what that does to help PID up here as well. And then going forward with our roads, they showed me a good idea for a project here for better connectivity and better ability for evacuation should it never be needed again, but at least you have that in your pocket on that. So we'll be doing everything we can to help to have the ability that whatever comes out of the infrastructure and highway legislation that should be happening this year, we want to make sure that is also, we're eligible for that here, and we get our good share of that as well. We've done well under this. Again, FEMA, everybody, Cal OUS, Cal Recycle, we've all worked pretty well together with our state legislators, our county, our city, and our hardworking staff that makes it all happen. So I'm very, very grateful for how things are moving along, and we still have a lot to do, but I'm very optimistic we're going to continue to do well for our town here. So thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Congressman Dr. Malfa. Our next speaker is Saulo Landano, Deputy Chief of Staff and District Director for Senator Jim Nielsen.
Thank you for having me, and on behalf of Senator Nielsen's office, I'll be more brief than he normally is, but we're very proud, and the Senator is very proud of this collaborative effort, and as the Congressman mentioned, we want to declare victories and we want to count our blessings every time that we have a chance to, especially here in Butte County after so many hardships that we've suffered over the last couple of years. So this is a really positive celebration for us, and we're very proud of the effort that our office and the Assemblyman's office and the Congressman's office has collaborated with the state and federal agencies and the town and the county to put together such a successful but not yet over project. So we want to make sure to continue to be available to you as a resource. So please contact us if any problems or any issues that comes up in the next few months, I believe, and I'm very glad to hear that that's all going to be finished here by the summer of this year. So again, on behalf of the Senator and his staff, we are really proud, and thank you for having us and being a part of this effort. Has been a pleasure for us, and so we want to thank you all, and I want to thank Assemblyman Gallagher, who I thought was going to speak before I did, but thank you.
District Director Landano. Our next speaker is Assemblyman James Gallagher.
All right, thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you all again, and Paradise is coming back. That is the big message. We have as was announced, 700 homes, more being built, seeing the ongoing recovery of the water system, opportunities for a sewer system in Paradise, ability to work together with regional partners on that. A lot of things are coming together, and that's something that we really need to celebrate. And I really think it's a testament to, number one, the people of Paradise. and Magalia, Concow. It is these communities, that have really spearheaded and started this and said, here's what we need to do to bring our community back. They, as has been said many times, are resilient, but that's an understatement. I mean, from the very beginning, as we were recovering, as the smoke was still in the air, it was these communities who said, we are going to do whatever it takes to restore the amazing communities that we have up here. And so, and secondly, it's been, I think, a great collaborative partnership from local, state, federal. In many ways seamless, always working together, trying to find those solutions. And one of those things that we identified early on was we got a lot of trees up here that we know are dead and dying, and we got to get them, felled so they don't become a hazard. And there was a lot of good progress, at first getting a lot of those trees down, but then we identified, we know that we need to do more. And I think the great thing about this is that, working with Ryan and FEMA and all of our partners, we were able to say, hey, how can we expand this? How can we really even get out there and get to more trees, help more property owners? And we did just that. It's been maybe a little bit longer than we all would have liked. I know that, and we've been through those frustrations with the community, but it's always been people working to get to that goal. And as I said, we're getting to 50% of those trees now. It's a great goal. We want people to please sign up. If you haven't signed up yet, please sign up for the program, and information's been given out on that, but we'll keep getting it out to you. Easy way to just sign up for this program so that we can get those trees taken care of, and then we can continue the great progress that we've made. 2 years from now, just coming up here and seeing how much has been done. It's truly amazing, but we're going to keep working to get there. So appreciate all of your guys' time today. Let's keep working together, and together we're going to make sure that these communities come back. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblyman Gallagher. Next, we'll have Congressman Doug LaMalfa for a special presentation.
Thank you, Colette, repeat customer here. So I do have two special recognitions I'd like to do here today in offer of some tremendous work that's been done by these individuals in the town here. And so first, it is also Women's History Month. I'd like to bring Colette Burris up here first to receive this plaque of recognition. This is commemorating from our office a presentation by the League of California Cities as a 2020, they call it the John H. Nail Memorial Award, in recognition of her exemplary public service, the hard work it takes to help make things come back, and all the things besides making the town come back you would have to do anyway. But we just want to take special notice for you today to be recognized in front of your peers and whoever's watching from the public today, to be noticed that you work very hard, and it's much appreciated by everybody here. So God bless you. Please accept this on behalf of our congressional office.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I imagine the league already gave their one to you before, right? Good. I mean, that's the whole state. League of Cities represents the vast majority of the incorporated cities and towns in the state here. So that's a big deal. It happened up here in Paradise. So congrats. So now also, a gentleman who's been a real leader and a real force, a real doing heroic things in providing, comfort and emergency response that helps keep people going in the right direction. Being that helper, like Mr. Rogers would talk about. In the time of crisis, look for the helper. And so I want to recognize from our office here again, the 2020 Red Cross Humanitarian Philanthropist of the Year recipient, and for the Red Cross, but through our office, this presentation to Chief Eric Reinbold.
It's quite an honor to be recognized by your office, and as well as the American Red Cross, who we have a great relationship with, and they come running during times of disaster. And I wouldn't be standing here today accepting this or the award from the Red Cross if it wasn't for the fine staff that I have that's out there serving our community every day. So big thanks to everybody.
Chief, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And Colette, you didn't take the mic when you received yours. Maybe we'll have to drag it out. Please.
Thank you so very much, Congressman, for recognizing this award. I feel so honored to have received this award and humbled by this. The work I do here is a team effort, and I really give credit to my colleagues. We all work very hard every day, so I feel humbled to have received this award and thankful. Thank you very much.
Proud of you. I yield back.
And now for final remarks, we have Paradise Mayor Steve Crowder.
Thank you for joining us today. I hope we've helped answer some of the questions. We're thankful for the help from all of our partners, our absolutely amazing town staff, which you got a little taste of with Congressman's presentations, our town manager, our fellow council people, and our resilient community. I'm truly amazed at the progress we have made, but again, we need your help to get to the finish line with this tree removal program. Let's get these eligible hazardous trees out before abatement. We're committed to safety for all of our residents and looking forward to a bright and exciting future for Paradise. Please see our tree advocates at the tree window in town. They can help you get enrolled. Remember, we are the new Paradise Pioneers. Thank you.
That concludes the remarks for our press conference today. We will now open this to questions from the media we have present.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I had a few questions. One is this where the program anticipated to be right now at this moment? Are we ahead of schedule or are we behind schedule? Should I go here?
Yes, please. Thank you, Deputy Director Burris.
Look, ideally, the work would be done if we would have learned the lessons that we did during this particular mission. We have, as you know, over 4 million acres burned last year, many trees. So never done before. When it happened in the camp, lessons learned, we put that debris mission all into one contract, so everything is moving forward. With that said, I truly believe we're ahead of schedule. We didn't start falling trees until November of just last year. We sit here in March, we're almost halfway done falling 500 trees every single day, and I think early summer is actually better than expected.
Thank you. My next question is, what about the homeowners that did it themselves? I've gone out and talked to people in the community, and there are some that have 6, sometimes 17 trees on their property that they needed to get done before the winter storm hit, and they weren't able to get it done through the program. Are they looking? I mean, they say that they're not going to get that money back, but is there anything that the town can do to provide them some sort of security, or is that just what's done is done? They've taken care of them. That's that. That's why you get the big bucks from that.
Well, unfortunately, there is no way that we can reimburse for that, and we sympathize. I mean, we've all been through the same thing. I had my trees taken out myself because I wanted to rebuild. I know everybody didn't have that opportunity. The town's doing everything we can to get people back home, and we know it's been a hardship for things. We're all working together. Cal OES is doing a great job at getting these trees out of here, and again, our goal is to make it a safe community again, and looking forward to the future, and we just thank everybody for their patience and perseverance.
Great, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. And And then my last question is about the abatements. That was something that I covered as well. And so what happens to the homeowners that continue to resist, even though notifications are being sent out? For whatever reason, let's say they're just not allowing anybody on their property. What happens to those trees that, if they pose a threat to the public, need to be removed, but they're just not allowing anybody on the property?
Generally, I try to manage my own affairs where it doesn't go to abatement, so I'm not going to say I'm the expert. But take the county, the 50 that haven't come into compliance by entering a program or having their trees removed. The county sends out notices that you're in violation of this code and then or regulation. And then ultimately, if the landowner doesn't respond or they refuse to allow entry for the certified arborist to determine which trees, they'll go to the courts or a hearing officer. And that landowner has an opportunity to appear and present their case. I think it's going to be a little tough when a tree is dead. I'm not an arborist. I've had trees that are green in the last 2 years turn brown. So, these arborists are looking out. So it really needs an expert to get on those properties. If that person, the hearing officer, isn't in their favor for whatever reason, then the county, and I imagine the town is exactly the same, could put it out to bid, and a contractor who is a successful bidder will be able to go abate that. Our collective general fund or taxpayer dollars pay for that, and then the potential for a lien for the fines, the work, the administrative costs will eventually probably get applied. Now they do, as I mentioned, those abatement liens come in front of the board, and the board sometimes goes, yeah, we'll waive this or waive that, or you pay the fine, we'll waive the abatement construction costs. But a lot of times, it's just, I'm sorry, you needed to do that, you knew it, and you failed for whatever reason, and it wasn't compelling enough. And it's a tough decision to put a lien on someone's property that if they don't pay that off, ultimately the county will put it on the courthouse steps and they can lose their property. And people have, not for tree abatement issues, but for other abatement issues of lost property. And it's super sad to see it go that way. But this is about the safety. This is about the citizens that did good. And I want to congratulate and thank the community for all the good that's been done. But we got to get those 50 into a program. Otherwise, that's the steps. It's long and arduous, and that neighbor that's next to that property is going to be the least happy person in Butte County or the town of Paradise. So, thanks for the opportunity.
Let me touch on that too. I appreciate Supervisor Teeter, that perspective here, because what you really don't want is to, as a landowner, to be in a position where now you're in court, now you got liens on you, now you have a process where you have a program that would like to help you, and the costs are going to be minimal to you, if perhaps nothing, of removing these trees. It was pretty successful under the ROE for debris removal. Again, all this stuff had to happen in a hurry, and everybody was trying to hustle and get it done. We had tens of thousands of trucks on the debris removal. Was there some fits and starts with that program initially? Sure, and then maybe here as well. But it's in your best interest to get those trees out. They're all the way through Tier 1, Tier 2, well into Tier 3 now. But even Tier 4 trees do have some exposure to possibly damaging a building. I think you got all the power lines and roads pretty much nailed by now, right? But you could damage your building, someone else's building, fall across a fence line. It's just something you don't need. What if somebody's out there, you and your family members, some of your livestock, your animals, and something goes wrong with the tree coming down? You just don't want that. So it's not, and I get it. Who wants people coming on their land? Who wants people tramping around on their property? But it's in your interest that you participate, sign up for it, and get it done, because all the other stuff just gets a lot worse with court time and fees and fines and liens and all that stuff, and you'll be regretting you didn't take the cleanest route, which is really about your personal safety of you and your family, your critters on your property, and whatever, however it might affect your neighbors. So it just, take it from me. I don't like government interference, okay? But in this case here, it really is beneficial to you. So let's get this done and not make it worse with what could happen. These folks, they don't want it to go that route either, but we all have an obligation under public safety, preservation, any of us that are elected to do, to try and find the best route. And this is, amidst all the things, really the best route.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, Supervisor Teeter. And I know I said last question, but I got one final one. I always do that.
The Beretta question. Huh?
Yeah.
Columbo.
So I remember a couple times coming down here covering stories of dead trees already fallen with the blue dots and the barcodes. And so is that, if they've fallen on somebody's property or on somebody's mobile home and completely destroyed it, is Cal OES or Cal Recycle responsible for that, or is that just the tree fell and that's that? Sorry, can't really help you.
Promise this is the last question?
Promise. Promise. That's the last one. It's in my notes.
Well, I haven't heard of any trees hitting a manufactured home personally. If it happened, I haven't heard about it. But trees that have been assessed, that are marked by the Cal OES, Cal Recycle program that has fallen, we are going to go back as we remove these trees. We are going to pick up those trees that have fallen that were assessed. If it broke up halfway, we'll ensure it's safely done. So that is part of the program. I implemented that several months ago with coordination with the director of OES. I would like to go back to one question you mentioned on the, are we ahead of schedule? Assemblymember Gallagher kind of mentioned, when I first arrived here, I believe the town's eligible roads, these are private roads that are sort of often, that's historic that FEMA even made these eligible. I think it was sitting at 18%. Working with everyone in this room, we got that up to 98% in the town. In the county, up to nearly 70%. We have 90,000 eligible trees today, and that would not have happened with all the support here. So while it took some time, if this would have been part day one, a lot less things would have been eligible. So I just want to re-emphasize that. We have 90,000 trees currently marked. We're following 500 trees per day. We will be done early this summer, and we went from a very small eligible population to a very large population working with FEMA and everyone behind me. So thanks.
Great. Thank you so much for the answers, guys. And last question, that was it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That concludes our press conference. Thank you all.